So I've been thinking about my wife's digital picture frame for a few months off and on, and how it constantly changes images and how it gets its information and its power. I'll get to the power part a little later on. But I keep thinking about how this digital picture frame is a good example of metaphysics. From the picture frame's point of view, it's not really aware of the external app that acts upon it. For example, one day my wife was at her work and she took a picture with her phone, then added it to the digital picture frame app. Moments later, the picture she took miles away appeared on the digital picture frame in our house. The frame is not aware of where this information comes from. The frame only knows how to process the information and could even argue there is no external app from the frame's point of view. It is just me, air quotes, in the flesh, and there is nothing external acting upon me. But we people, having the ability to see and understand beyond just the digital picture frame, know and understand that that's not true. There is an external influence acting upon the physical digital picture frame. So now think about this. When a baby is forming in the womb, it's still unknown how legs know to become legs and eyes know how to become eyes. And people immediately say, well, there's DNA. DNA is just what makes you, you, and me, me. There is an unknown of how the baby actually forms, how we all form. So also think about this. Our brains and our hearts produce electromagnetic fields, but the heart electromagnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the electromagnetic field that our brain produces. This electromagnetic field reaches out up to 6 feet. If a person is angry or depressed, it shrinks down to around 3 feet, I believe. The baby in the womb, the first organ to develop, and it develops almost immediately, is the heart. And so that little baby's heart, even though the other cells haven't developed yet, produces an electromagnetic field. So what I'm suggesting is there's external influences acting upon the formation of that baby. Just like the picture frame app, we can't see or measure these external forces other than the electromagnetic field around the heart that act upon that. So the DNA is like the information. It's the zeros and ones. For the picture frame, you could say the zeros and ones is like the DNA. But for us, just simply saying, well, there's DNA, that doesn't explain, that's like the picture frame saying, well, I received zeros and ones. That doesn't explain the app. That doesn't explain the cellular signal, the Wi-Fi. That only explains how the picture frame deals with the zeros and ones. The DNA only explains how we deal with, how I become me and you become you. So there's external forces that we can't see and measure that act upon this electric realm that we live in. So now let's take a look at the power source of the picture frame. The picture frame would not be aware that there is a power plant somewhere sending electricity through transmission lines, and that the volts have to be stepped down, and how it goes through a neighborhood and then into a breaker box and plugged in. The picture frame would not even realize it's plugged in. From the picture frame's point of view, it just says, yep, there's my power source. And so it's the same way when we look at the sun. The sun is electric, and Eric Dollard's been saying that for years. Walter Russell knew it. And there is external forces acting upon our sun that in return act upon the electric realm that we live in. So the sun to think that it's a ball of gas 93 million miles away and gravity keeps collapsing it in on itself, and that's how it continuously ignites, is an oversimplification of what's really happening. It's kind of like I take a laser pen and you shine it on the floor. An animal might think, "Oh wow, there it is, this little spot of light. That's the physical object. That's the physical object." But the dog would have no idea that it's really a pen. It would have no understanding that there's a laser pen and that is the source of the power. That is the real object, is the laser pin is the real object. The little red dot on the floor is just the projection. So it's the same way with our sun. It's just the projection. So in conclusion, there's a lot more to this electric realm that we live in than meets the eye. There is a lot of external influences that we cannot see or measure that act upon this realm that we call Earth, and however you define Earth. I'm not going to get into that for this video, but just realize that there are external influences acting upon us and where we live. And that was the whole point to this video. Thanks for allowing me to ramble, and I hope you found it enlightening. And as always, have a fantastic day.